welcome everybody to Mystics Outlook. Joined as always, we got Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr. Washington bounced back. They routed out Atlanta tonight, 70-50. Can hear from both of these gentlemen to tell you guys what their take on tonight's game. Washington coming off the loss to Chicago, getting back on the winning side of things with tonight's performance. Quick word from our folks over at Ooze and Oz, as always. U Street is back, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday to Thursday, and 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. Open late Fridays and Saturdays, fully remodeled and ready to serve. You get over to oozeandoz.com. That said, Cardell, going to pass it on to you. And then Ray, just get you guys a recap of the game before we get the player of the game and X Factor as always.
Yeah, this was a defensive clinic, man. This is one of the best defensive games I've seen from the Mystics in years. The devastation that they gave the dream were out of it at the beginning of the game. Honestly, man, they couldn't really get anything going offensively. They were hit with the 13 points, and Mystics was stuck with that formula throughout the game, even with their own offensive woes at times. I'm just gonna read off some stats so everyone can understand. They held the Dreams to 35% shooting from the field, 19% shooting from deep, and forced 25 turnovers, and held rookie sensation and WNBA leading scorer Ryan Howard scoreless. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better defensive performance from Washington, man. And they said during preseason they gonna hang their hat on the defense end, despite obviously the talent they have on the offense, man. They thought if they can play this level of defense, then offensively it would just take the pressure off them offensively, and they would beat most teams. And then obviously if they explode offensively, it's just you have no hope as an opponent. That's kind of what we saw tonight defensively. Offensively, they were up and down. They had their moments, but they didn't even really need to have an offensive explosion the way they were playing defense. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, no Dream scored in double figures but Ari McDonald, and she was a reserve off the bench, playing 27 minutes, man. She was the only one. Everyone else was held to single digits. It was an amazing performance, man. Because, like I said, for a guy, I value all around play, but I really emphasize defense because we seem to be in a time where most people just disregard it. And tonight, you see defense reign supreme, just like on the fella side of things, you see defense reign supreme in the playoffs. This just was, again, a defensive clinic, man. And, any coach at any level, you want to see how to play team defense, you should get the film on this game and take a few notes, man, because this was special with the Mystics, what they accomplished.
Yeah, man, there's nothing else to talk about besides defense. Like this was brutal for the Dream, man. Like I felt bad at times. The Mystics had them in hell. Like Ardell said, held Ryan Howard to 0 points. Coming into this game, she was leading the league in scoring. So that tells you the job they did. They just saw this team on Friday, and Ryan Howard came out the gate smoking. She had 19 in the first half. They kind of bottled her up in the second half, and they were just determined not to have a repeat of that. Every time she touched the ball, she saw multiple defenders. They were pushing her baseline, trapping hard, just getting the ball out of her hands. That just shows you the level of respect she has earned in 7 short games in the WNBA. Because she's been on the tear, man. This was her first first game she looked like a rookie. But it's look at the lengths the Mystics had to go to make her ineffective. And not every team has the personnel and the discipline to perform like that defensively. So I mean, that just goes to show like what type of talent she is. But yeah, man, it was just clinic on that end for the Mystics. They forced 25 turnovers, and the Dream only had 12 assists. That shows you how just how dominant the Mystics were defensively tonight, man. And that was the story of the game. And the third quarter really put the finishing touches on it. The Mystics won that quarter 20-8, and it was just a wrap from that for the Dream. Fourth quarter was just mop up minutes, to be perfectly honest, man, because by that point, they were deflated. It was no hope for a comeback. They couldn't get anything going, and the Mystics had firm control of the game. So, I mean, that's just impressive for them to come out and perform this way. Especially coming off a tough loss to Chicago the other night. it just shows the grit and determination of this team. This is in the dream they start off the season strong, and the Mystics just showed them it's still another level to get to. The Mystics are in the championship. It's no secret. And they just showed that they're on another level tonight. But yeah, man, just a defensive clinic, man, defensive masterclass. You can't ask for anything better than that.
All right, as always, gotta ask you guys, player of the game.
The entire message. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, yeah, watching. I'm just being honest. The defense that they play from top to bottom, from whoever you want to say is the top player, all the way down to the everybody that got in the game. There was no weak link. There was no life for the dream. It was nothing they could try to summon. You know what I mean? And honestly, if the Mystics would have exploded offensively, it would have probably been 90-50. It was just that level of defense, man. They couldn't get anything going. So I gotta tip my head to the entire team, because everybody that came in got it done on that end. And this is what we kind of been waiting for with Alicia Clark, Cloud, and Atkins on the perimeter. And then you got obviously drafted Shakira. I mean, she's a rookie, but she's so athletic, and the way she can block shots, man, it's suffocating. And then you try to pick on Deladon, but she's not fooled down there. I mean, she's smart and crafty, so you can't just it ain't gonna be just easy. So I mean, I love what I saw tonight, man. It was just like very simple basketball.
Yeah,
Right.
defense is the play of the game. I mean, if individually your basement defensively is Deladon, then you're in a pretty good spot, man. And that's just what it was tonight. It was like they did do a lot of switching with Howard, but it didn't matter who was in front of her. It was still like, if you got Cloud on you, then you set a pick and they switch, and then you got Atkins on you, then you set a pick and they switch, and you got Alicia Clark on you. Like, it's no relief, man. So their defense was really the separator.
All right, X Factor, if you guys have one after naming the whole team's defensive performance tonight.
Kennedy Burke. That's the X factor for me. She had 13 points off the bench, 5 or 6 from the field, 2 or 3 from deep. But her 3-pointers were timely 3-pointers where, Atlanta might have had like a 4-0 run, 6-0 run, and she would just bomb them with a 3, and they just deflated again, and then fired the misses right back up, and they got right back on track. She shot it. She also hit a couple mid-range. Like I said, she was 5 for 6 from the field. She didn't miss much, man. And obviously, she was a key cog to what they brought defensively, man. So she was a great quiet pickup, and her impact has been shown so far this season.
Yeah, Kennedy Burke, and coming off a game where their bench did not show up at all, it was nice to see them have some consistency in the second unit. And she provided that spark.
All right, up next, Washington. Doesn't have any games in the next few days, but Saturday they'll be up in Connecticut. They're taking on the Connecticut Sun, a familiar foe. So we'll be looking forward to that. The next time we talk to y'all. After a game for Mystics Outlook, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great evening.